Danny Rarity here, and I did some deep diving on some stats between the Buffalo Sabres and the Montreal Canadiens, so you don't have to. And this stat that I found might just win the Sabres the series. Leave a comment, like, subscribe if you like this content, or if you just think I'm an idiot and I suck. So do whatever, I'm gonna let you know what I found. So this is really what kind of got the gears turning in my head and led me on this rabbit hole that I ended up falling into. So shot speed. Normally, I don't pay that much attention to because there's a lot of factors that really go into it. But the fact that the Sabres had one less game and pretty much have more shots at every of these higher speeds in the category was kind of interesting to me. But not only that, but the average shot speed is actually slightly higher but for the Montreal Canadiens. Now, this could mean a couple things. So the first thing that goes through my head is, you know, if the Sabres have harder shots in like just on average, you know, double the amount of 90 to 100 mile per hour shots. They have 11 more 80 to 90 mile per hour shots, and they have 12 more 70 to 80 mile per hour shots, but they have less speed on those on just any shot in general. That leads me to believe that the Sabres do a lot of dumping the puck on the net. Now, this probably is not a huge surprise if you watched, you know, all the Sabres playoffs games or even a lot of their games once they started kicking things into gear during the regular season. They do like to dump that puck on the net, cause some chaos, hustle to the puck, all that good stuff. So that did kind of make sense in my head once I started thinking about it more. But up next is the skating speed, right? So I always thought that the Buffalo Sabres, it's a fact, the Buffalo Sabres are one of the fastest, if not the fastest teams in the NHL, the way they use their speed. I really thought Montreal was right up there with them. But if you look at this here, triple the amount of 22 plus speed burst, 20 to 22 mile per hour speed burst. We also have, 30 more than them, 31 more to be exact. And then you go to 18 to 20 mile per hour bursts, and the Montreal Canadiens do have a lot more 18 to 20 mile per hour bursts than us, enough to make up the gap on the high end. So what this kind of tells me is that the Montreal Canadiens are probably more of probably a higher floor when it comes to speed and their aggressiveness on things like forechecks, dump-ins, all that stuff. But when it comes to kind of these high pressure situations where, maybe the Sabres are dumping the puck on net where it's under that 70 mile per hour range, so it, lowers their average shot speed, they are hustling. They are going crazy. I mean, you can look at Josh Doan last game and kind of figure that out for yourself, that is the Sabres strategy. So I guess what ties this all together? Why do I think that this is so important, right? So the next thing I want to bring up to you, and I have multiple comparisons across, every team that both these guys have played that I'm just going to brief over soon. But the thing I want to keep an eye on here is the shots on goal is going to be high danger. So the Sabres are really good at creating high danger chances. 54 of their shots on goal were high danger, and their shooting percentage from the high danger area was 18.5% against Jeremy Swayman. So if we go over to the goalie comparison, DOWGS versus Jeremy Swayman, if you look at, where is it here, man? The high danger shots against, goals against. Shots against, 51 for Jeremy Swayman. So the Sabres are, again, really good at generating these high danger shots. And 10 less shots for DOWGS. But if you look at the goals against, 7. DOWGS had 10 less high danger shots against, but still almost let in the same amount of high danger shots. And these are the shots the Sabres love to generate with the type of players they have. Zach Benson, especially that third line, like the third, second line, whichever you want to call it. They are really, really ratty. They're in your face. They are really annoying. And so I bring you to the save percentages here. And DOWGS, he did really good last series. Nobody's taking that away from him. He played really, really good. But the majority of his success comes from mid-range and long-range shots. But the Sabres, they love to get in your face, they love to be annoying, and they love high danger shots. And DOWGS, that is his weakness. I mean, even if you watch some highlights and stuff of that last series that they played, he's not really good at controlling those rebounds. That is his weakness. I mean, my brain keeps going back to the Josh Doan play to Zach Benson directly in front of the net with nobody there against Boston. That's really where my mind goes to, as not as like a, you know, this is going to happen every time type thing, but more so like that is what they are going to try to do, and that is how you're going to win a lot of these kind of early game scenarios where you can catch them off guard, you can get one in quick, get a quick lead, and it's just really fascinating to me how this all lines up, right? Sabres just much more high-end speed, and they love to use that high-end speed in high-danger situations, and they're good at scoring in high-danger situations compared with Dobash, his weakness being high-danger situations. So, especially in the first game or two when they're still kind of figuring things out and stuff like that, I'm not saying this is going to be a blueprint for the entire series, because this is probably going to be a long series, most likely, but if the Canadiens cannot figure out how to clear out the front of the net, cannot figure out how to slow down these dump-ins, if the Sabres can really lean into that speed aspect that they've been doing so well in that first series, I think that is a recipe to get ahead early in a lot of these series and make the Canadiens play a lot of catch-up throughout this entire series, which is something they almost did not do at all during their series against Tampa. They had the lead, I think, like every time there was a lead after the first period, the Canadiens always had it. The Canadiens were always playing from ahead, and I think if the Sabres utilize their speed, utilize their high danger prowess, they can really get some really good early advantages and put the Canadiens on their back foot a lot. And I think that is something to really keep your eye out for, especially, you know, game 1 and game 2. I think they're going to try to do this a lot, you know, especially seeing how the rebound control for Dobash was in his series, and how just really good Dobash was from everywhere else. So I think you're going to see a lot of screens. You're going to see a lot of just kind of muddiness in front of the net, driving the net. Like I said, like dump-ins, just trying to one-on-one beat out those defenders to the puck, throw things in front of the net. Like that is going to be the Sabres game plan. Probably get some tips in there too, you know, especially on the power play, how the Sabres were playing kind of at the end of the Boston series. Their power play was doing really good and actually generating shots. I know, crazy, but it's just, to me, it's impossible to ignore when your high danger save percentage is 8.29, and Jeremy freaking Swayman had an 8.43 against us. And I think if the Buffalo Sabres are going to take a quick advantage in games 1 and 2 here, especially while being in Buffalo, it's going to start by using that speed and capitalizing on high danger scoring opportunities while the Canadiens may still be feeling it out.